Welcome to Being a Parent, a series of short videos with strategies to help make family life less stressful. Hi, I'm Jenny.
And I'm Andy.
You'll also be hearing from our amazing parent group leaders who have tried and tested the strategies in their own homes. This video is about understanding the needs behind children's behaviour.
What are some of the needs that children have?
So children have lots of different needs. Love, attention, food, sleep. They need to explore and learn. They need to feel useful, to feel independent, and to know where they stand and where the boundaries are. And what sort of behaviours do children do to get their needs met?
The need for love could be shown by wanting a hug when you're busy. They might scream and shout when you're on the phone because they need attention. Needing food and sleep can mean anything from grumpiness and grizzling to crying and tantrums. Turning things on and off and asking lots of questions shows their need for exploring and learning. Helping around the house, usually making a mess at the same time, is what they do to feel useful. Being determined to zip their own coat or saying no to everything shows a need for independence. And testing your boundaries could mean a need to know where they stand. When we think they're just doing this to annoy us, you're probably going to get a bit shouty, a bit angrier. But if you think, hold on a minute, there's a need behind this behaviour, you can be a bit more calm in your approach.
For a very long time, I struggled with bedtime routine because my middle daughter would always come with any excuse under the sun. I'm hot, I'm cold, I need water, I need to use the toilet. Any excuse you can think of. I felt sick, you name it. And I really struggled to understand why, because we've read a book and we've said good night. Until I did this needs behind behavior, I didn't realize her need behind that. The need behind that behavior was that she felt left out, because at the time my oldest one will still be downstairs catching up with her schoolwork, and I had a baby with me at the time. So because the baby was having naps during the day, she wasn't sleeping early, so my middle one would go to bed first, but she felt left out that she has to go to bed first. And it wasn't that we were doing anything as a family while she was sleeping. Everybody was doing their individual stuff, but she still felt left out, the fact that she was the only one going upstairs. So when I understood that need behind the behavior, I decided to give her more time after reading her book so we can catch up on conversations. And I realized that helped her to settle down to sleep much quicker.
All of these things, all these behaviours, are the children trying to meet the needs that they have. So the easiest and most effective way to help your child manage those behaviours is to meet their needs. So you're not trying to fix the kid, you're trying to find out what the need is behind it.
The subject of needs behind behaviour for me was my light bulb moment. When I realised that children aren't just misbehaving to be difficult, but they're trying to express to us that they're having a problem and that we're the people that they want to solve it. So once I changed my mindset around that and tried to figure out whether it was that they just didn't have the vocabulary or that they didn't actually know what was wrong, I could try and anticipate maybe. So if they're hungry, try and keep a routine in order that they're not getting hangry, as the expression goes. And that seemed quite often to make a real big difference.
I notice when my daughter is in need of a sleep by the way that she expresses her tantrums and tired and just whines about anything. So then I understand that just because she needs to sleep.
If my child just cries, for me, is if I think it is for no reason, I have to change my mind about that. There might be a very, very valid need. He might be angry, he might be having pain for some reason, he might be tired. So as a parent, this is our job. We have to think behind the behavior and see what is the need behind that behavior.
Let's take a minute to think of a behaviour that your child does that you don't like. So, Andy, what would be a behaviour that your son does that you don't like?
When I go to pick him up from nursery, they're giving feedback at the end of the day, and they're telling me how well behaved he's been, how much of a joy he's been to look after. And then he just completely and utterly kicks off. He starts screaming, shouting, running around.
And maybe it's that need for attention. You know, he's not seen you all day, he misses you, and that's his way of getting your attention, demanding your attention.
Yeah.
And how do you think you could respond to that behaviour using some of the tools from the Being a Parent course?
I can see that you're excited that Daddy's home, but I just need to speak to the ladies to look at your feedback and listen to your feedback. Jenny, can you think of an example with your son?
He has a complete meltdown when he's told that we have to do something else first, or when he's just told no about something.
So what do you think the need is behind that behaviour?
I think a lot of it is to do with his independence. You know, he's wanting to do things himself. He doesn't understand that he has to wait with me, or that he can't, you know, he's not even 3. He can't just go to the park on his own.
And what sort of kind of strategy do you use?
Accepting his feelings. I can see that you're upset because we can't go to the park right now, but we need to go to the supermarket first and then we'll go to the park. And it's really hard. Sometimes it does just feel like they are just screaming at you for the sake of screaming at you, to push all of your buttons and to get onto your last nerve. But they're usually not. There's usually something behind that. Either they're feeling anxious or uncomfortable about something, and they just don't know how to explain it to you.
So the thing to remember is the need is valid, even if the behaviour is slightly inappropriate.
Discipline sounds like it's just about disciplining a child, but actually it's about education. It's about them learning what is acceptable, what's unacceptable, and what the consequences of those things are.
My understanding of discipline initially, coming from an African background, was get some smacks for misbehaving. That's the culture in which I grew up. So it was quite a shock when I learned the true meaning of discipline as to meaning to educate. So I really now need to try hard and ask myself, when I'm going to discipline the kids, is this strategy going to educate them? And it's quite hard, but I found that the benefits of using a strategy that educates the children is much, much better.
I didn't understand that there were strategies to use. Discipline was just, for me, was being firm, and you told the kids what to do and they have to do it. But after I've gone on a course, I've understand that there are techniques and different strategies to use to get the mind of the children work in a way that they can understand what you want from them.
So we want you to pause for a moment to think about why you find discipline hard. Children don't like it. They don't like being told they can't do something. They might scream and shout at you. Great fun in the supermarket. Feels embarrassing as a parent when you've got that child who's screaming, who you're having to carry out. You know, and it makes your relationship with them difficult. You don't want to be the bad guy with them, but you have to do that sometimes.
As parents, I think it can depend on our mood. If we're tired or stressed or agitated, then I think we respond very differently. Whereas if we're in a quite a good, strong place and we filled our jug and we're feeling positive, then I think discipline becomes much easier because we're more in control of our emotions, and therefore that enables our child to be more in control of theirs.
So give it a go at home. Try to identify the need behind behaviours you don't like. Practice acknowledging it and the feelings that go along with it, and have a think about your views on discipline. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Jenny,
Thank you.
and we'll see you soon.